Yo, what's going on, guys? Time for a new video today. So this was gifted to the channel by one of our loyal subscribers and loyal viewers, so I really appreciate that, so thanks for that. We'll now be going into what was gifted to the channel. Again, guys, if you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do that. Just drop a comment down below and we can arrange something for the channel. Again, this obviously goes towards the channel. I don't actually make any money from YouTube, so I really appreciate anything that goes towards the channel. It's purely for entertainment purposes. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. So as you can see, there's a Phoenix on front here, and we got soft bullet gun. This actually says Phoenix as well in Chinese. Xing Shen up here. Nice little box. It's got some warning labels on the back here. You know, all the standard stuff. I actually translated all this. It basically just says don't shoot anyone, be careful, and obviously don't shoot at your eye. Don't know why you would, but and obviously it says 14 and up on here too. If you hear any banging, there is going to work on another apartment upstairs. But yes, so inside the box you get a nice layer of plastic here. I also got the gift paper there. You also get a screwdriver, and I put my orange barrel piece in here. It just comes off the little barrel cover, because the gun is pretty much multicolored anyway. You don't really need an orange tip on there. You get your magazine and your gun, you get your sights, and you get a fake red dot holographic sight, EOTech fake type 1. And yeah, and then you get some darts, so not too bad. Just put that in there like that. Put the box to one side for the moment, just put it out of the way. Here we are. So my setup on here, I've just put my own holographic sight on here, my own EOTech, bit of oil on here. It's quite oiled. I've oiled this up quite well. You can see it's kind of dripping through the bolt sled a little bit there. That's just to make sure the seals are nice. You do get a little bit of air escapage from the back here, but doesn't really need to be changed. This grip can't be removed, it's clipped and glued on, so you'd have to damage the grip and try and glue that back on. But this is designed very coolly, in my opinion. All you have to do is remove this cap here, obviously take the stock off, it's very easily removable, and then you just remove these 3 screws. You leave that little hex screw in there, but you unscrew these 3 screws, that just comes straight out. You have a little cap you twist and then pull out like kind of like a sports drink, and your spring will come out. You then can replace the spring with a 25N spring, and that will increase your power. This is doing 150 FPS standard, and then with the spring upgrade, which I don't have yet, it will do up to 260, and possibly more if I could do a few more other upgrades to it, namely with the barrel, which I will do a video after on that as well once I get those parts. But even just straight out the box, this thing competes with the X-Shot Pro. I will be getting the X-Shot Pro soon. It took a while for it to release over where I live, and it's only just been released. And I'm just waiting for my order to go through now. But this technically is an improvement over the X-Shot Pro, and it's kind of more like the Unicorn, and there's many reasons why. It kind of has a similar profile to it. The only real difference is the magazine is kind of at an angle, and it's its own magazine. If it took Talon magazines, it would be very similar to that. But these magazines are actually better than Talon, and I'll get onto those in a minute. But it uses a metal plunger tube. We've got a metal barrel in there, anodized metal barrel. It's there you go, it's like an orange anodized, kind of like the Monkey Mods barrel. You can see the catch there, there's the catch. When you pull the trigger, the catch goes in. But this is quite a solid plastic, and from what I've read, it doesn't need to be changed with a metal one, so that's quite good. Like I say, most of this is metal, so the pump rods that go right through, you can see them on there, they go right through into the gun. That's all metal. I believe the the dart feeder is actually metal as well, the dart pusher. It does feel kind of like metal. I'm not completely certain on that, but it does feel that way. Of course the plunger is metal. It does rotate in there. It hasn't caused any problems though. And then the rear sight is metal. The front sight's plastic, but they do pop up and pop down. A lot of people do like these sights from what I've seen from the videos. They're a little bit low for me. I have to get my face right up on it. And because this doesn't have any recoil, you can use this as a cheek weld if you want to do it like a pistol. However, the stock is really cool. This is metal too. The only plastic is the purple parts. And I really like the purple. Purple is one of my favourite colours too, believe it or not. So, you know, we've got a purple barrel piece, purple stock point. I just really like the look of it. Under the red anodised plunger tube. The yellow's a little bit off-centred with the colour. I would prefer this to have been purple as well. Maybe just this yellow and then the trigger and the magazine release to be purple. Just so you know that this part is supposed to be removable. But yeah, you have a 3-position stock, 1, 2, 3, technically 4 position because it's closed as well when you can have it closed. But this latches in quite nicely, as you can see, it's quite solid. There is no movement in this stock, it's a solid stock. I have seen people like proper twisting at it to try and show that there is no movement. You will create movement if you force the stock, so don't do that. Just do a little bit of movement, that's fine, you don't need to force stuff. This is plastic, so if you start forcing these little rods here that obviously slide through, because these are what keep this stock in line. If you start to wear this little area out inside of here, the stock will have movement. So just be careful with the stock. Don't need to be rough with it. It's very nice though. You can, like I say, you can have it closed or you can have it open one. And that's, to be honest, I'm 6'1", 6'2". That's fine. I've got really long arms and I can just crunch up on it. You've just got to kind of put your arm down by your side like that, and it will fit in there perfectly fine. Of course, you can have it extended. You can do all this with your arm, but that's not obviously the way to do it. You want to keep your arm down. With the front grip, be careful not to get higher than this part. You see how there's like a lip here? You will get your skin caught in here and in here if you go any higher than this part on the grip. So you can put your thumb up like that. Just don't start doing stuff like this because you will get your fingers caught in here, and the same with the back. If you want to get your hand up here, don't, because you will get your thumb skin caught in there. I did it just to see if it would work, and it doesn't. It kind of forces your skin through that hole there, so don't do that. Just keep your hand on this part here and you should be fine. And then you can rest your thumb up on the side there and you'll be fine. This is a really nice grip as well. This is like a solid grip. Reminds me of more like an airsoft grip, like a pro airsoft grip, or like more like a real front grip. It's quite solid. There is a little bit of movement in this, as you can see, just from me using this a little bit. I've put about 5 mags through this, and we got a little bit of movement. If I put this down on my leg, you will see. It's hard to keep it still, but you can kind of see that movement. It's not very much, but it does make a noise. Same thing with this grip here. This has movement. You can get them both to move. This is solid because it's, you know, tightened down on there with a nut, but that wobble you hear is these grips. They don't really hinder the gun very much. It does feel solid. It doesn't feel like they're going to break or anything. But yeah, it has the same sort of internals as the Unicorn. Obviously, this is more of a clone of the Valkyrie, but you know, this isn't too bad of a Nerf gun, to be honest. It shoots really good out of the box, and it has metal parts in it. So the only real thing you have to change is the spring. Like I say, so that it has, you know, it's got quick moddable features, 150 FPS, 160 with bamboos, great value for money from what I wrote, quality shell and internals such as the plunger, barrel, the priming, carriage and the metal stock, all of those being metal, and then all the plastic is nylon, so it's solid. There is no flex to this plastic. This plastic is more of a cheaper plastic, but it's still solid. It's still more solid than a Talon magazine. So with these Talon magazines, style magazines, they use the 13 by 50mm dart, which is slightly longer than a half length. Obviously, people have already covered this, but you see, they fit in there snug. I've made a couple of my own, which they work great too. Suction cups don't work, and I made a couple of X-Shot pocket dart ones. They work great, but also these work not too bad too. The Azure Black Dragons. These are proper black dragons. I got these when they first released. They work great. My darts that I'm selling currently, they work great. Do I even have any in here? I've got the extra shells of them, some of the ones I cut in half. I don't know if I've got any to hand. I don't. But they do fit in here quite well. So, but yeah, you can use half lengths and quarter lengths basically, and they will feed all together perfectly fine. So you get more options with this size of magazine. With a Talon magazine, you're limited to just the Azure Black Dragon size. But as you can see, you get a slightly longer dart. With that slightly longer dart, you get a bit more accuracy. You get a bit more of a straighter dart. These can fishtail, but I noticed with the Black Dragons, they do hit really hard. This feels like I've modded it once I put the Black Dragons in it. They work amazingly, honestly. I don't have that many of them, so I don't like just firing them off randomly. They do break quite easily. The heads come off quite easily, to be honest. There's not any way around that, even if you fire at soft targets. But this does work amazingly. So the magazine goes in with a nice audible click. You can hit the magazine release with your middle finger, or you can just reach in and grab it. There's a skinny pusher, as you can see, so you can put in the magazine while it's forward without having to do anything. And you can load up to 20 rounds in this. There will start to be sort of feed issues when you start to cram the rounds in there. They recommend 10, and I think that's just because they wanted the magazine to be large, so if you've got this in a pouch, it's easier to pull out, rather than just have the extended base plate they added on the bottom. I think they just decided to make it a little bit longer as well. They recommend 10, but you can comfortably get about 16, 17 in there if you want that. You can get black magazines, and then you can get these purple magazines. I'm gonna order an extra magazine. Obviously I don't really do Nerf Wars, I'm more of a plinker, so 2 magazines for me is fine. You can see it's got more of a UMP 45 look to it with that magazine in there, but it kind of looked a bit more like a unicorn without it, and I think that's partly why they did this, is to keep it with its own style. There isn't anything else with this type of magazine. It feels really nice to put it in there, and I like the actual width of it. It feels more like a real steel magazine. You can co-witness your sights with your red dot if you've got a proper one. This one, it's red, but it also goes to green as well. Can't really see it because it is a real holographic, and I've got studio lights. I don't know if we can get that. No. But yeah, I've got a proper holographic on there. I've got a steel plate chest carrier over there. There's no steel in it, it's just a plate carrier, but I'm going to shoot it and just show you the power. We've got an X-Shot dart in there. So you can hear that. That was it hitting the target. That was about 6-7 feet away. And I've got a short dart. This is one of those purple waffle types. I'll show you those fire quite well too. The only downside to this, you can see when the grip's back, you don't have much room for your hands. So be careful the way you grip this, because if I've actually hurt myself with this, if you grip like this, where you keep your sort of wrist like that and you go back, you can smack your wrist on the magazine well, even with no magazine in it. Just as you can see, it doesn't matter how big your hand is, it literally is just like, you'd have to be like a newborn to avoid that, because you can see your knuckle and everything gets trapped in there. So you have to hold it from a side grip, or like how I do with that sort of grip, because you avoid smacking your hand then, it's all out of the way. But like I say, be careful to put it too far up. You sort of want to keep it there, don't go up to here as much as it feels like you want to do it, unless you do that. You really got to be careful. But you can do like that quite quickly. And you can see it's a solid Nerf gun. There is a lock in this. You can't pull the trigger once it's back, but I figured this out. If you pull the trigger a little bit, you can then deprime it, mainly because the trigger, there is quite a lot of travel before it fires, so you can disengage that lock and then pull the trigger. So I'll show you this, the half length. There you go. You can see it's not too bad. Doesn't fire as great as the other ones. Really does depend on the quality of them. I've noticed the newer half length darts, they feed really well in this. They shoot quite well, but that used one I fired then, it didn't fire at full potential at all. So yeah. But yeah, I really like the colour scheme on this. It's interesting. It's different. I like that you can put real optics on this. I like that it's powerful straight out of the box. You can't really beat 150 FPS with this type of build quality as well. But I will be interested to see what the X-Shot Pro has to offer just to compare them. And I will do a comparison video just because they are such a similar platform. It's almost the same plunger size. You know, it's almost the same pretty much in terms of not aesthetics but usability, like it's pump action. I know the mag's up here, not back here. But it's very similar in terms of usability, so it'd be good to compare them. But yeah, let's get on to a shooting video now. Okay, you can see the Nerf target up ahead. We've got a mixture of darts in there, including the ones that came with it. I do like these ones that came with it though, they are just nice. You can also double feed these, there is no lock, so you can double shot. I'm going to fire, I'm not going to fire in the target, I'm just going to fire on the bed there so you can see. See 2 darts there, just there on the bed. Put the target back up just for now. If I can, because this has hundreds of darts in it currently. Usually it just stands up. Okay, so there we go. Just like to show the air seal now that I've actually oiled this. By the way, make sure you oil this before you actually get it and use it, because these come bone dry, and that's why the seals aren't very good. So there's nothing in this, but if you block it up, there you can see it's got a very nice air flow, as you can see. So make sure you oil it up and your seals will be great. You can see it holds it enough. That was like 2 seconds and you're firing instantly. You're going like that. So your seal needs to seal up enough for a minute, not even a minute, a second. And the air that comes out of this too. I shot it at my clothes rack and I just saw my t-shirts move. So yeah, the seals in this are great. You don't need to add any more to the seals. Just a simple spring upgrade and you'll be hitting real hard. But you can see I was hitting the target and they're just bouncing out of there. They were zipping in and zipping out. So there you can see it hits the darts and comes right back out again. And of course, darts don't have a lot of bounce to the foam when they hit side on. So this is hitting the foam in there and bouncing out again. You really see the power this thing has. Just to show, I'll shoot it at the wall. I know some of you are probably wanting that. Just shooting it directly in between the glass and there. So there you go, directly straight back at me. So ricochets are a thing with these, as you can see. So yeah. Definitely a pro grade blaster. I mean, the price does reflect it. These are quite expensive, but for comparing it to the X-Shot Pro, you're getting a bit of a better quality. You're getting metal parts from standard, and honestly, look at the style of this blaster, man. It's just awesome. And with your optic on there, it's amazing. Unfortunately, from the research I did though, you can't use these M-locks because of the priming bar. There isn't any space. So that is just cosmetics. But yeah, other than that, this is a sick blaster, guys. Definitely would recommend it. Definitely recommend picking up a decent EOTech. Don't get a cheap airsoft one. You'll definitely benefit from a decent optic to go with it. So get yourself an extra magazine, get yourself an upgrade spring, and you've got a super duper Valkyrie Fire Phoenix. So thanks for watching, guys. I'd rate this a 5 out of 5, and I appreciate the donation yet again to the subscriber that donated this. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next review.